Hey everybody, welcome back to SaaS Founder Stories. My name is David Brennan, and today I have Michael Ocean with me from Pen AI. First of all, I love the last name. When I saw it, I was like, Ocean? Oh my God, this is going to be a great conversation. Welcome to the show, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. So let's start off. Why don't you tell me and the audience a little bit about Sell Me This Pen and what you guys are doing?
Absolutely. So, we basically sell confidence to salespeople. As confusing as it sounds, we help them get prepared for sales calls through individual practice and coaching. And to be more specific, so historically, how do you get prepare for a sales conversation? You go in a group setting and you do role plays with a bunch of people watching you. It's uncomfortable. It's not realistic. It's not relevant to your use case. But now you can do this with AI buyers without burning leads. So you can go back and forth with AI, get challenged, get ready for these conversations, and get immediate feedback from your AI coach. So instead of like doing manager one-on-ones, it takes typically a week or two just to set up those meetings, and then it's uncomfortable because your manager is your manager. Now you can do this with AI. So that's the one of the core functionality or the problem that we are solving for our clients. Another aspect is we help sellers with deal execution. So what I mean by that is in real time, we help them again through some of these like coaching aspects. Like for example, if they tend to forget what questions to ask during a discovery call, you have your questions ready to go. If you don't know how to handle some of these tough objections, AI will help you handle these objections easier. And again, the whole cycle will continue after each call. Instead of watching call recordings to find some areas of improvement, you can quickly see what you need to adjust for your next call to do better, and you can get one-on-one again coaching based on your actual conversations.
Very cool. So are you, if I'm a salesperson, obviously I can communicate back and forth with the AI to get better at my sales um, messaging and just communication. And then if I'm on a call, is that running in the call and listening and then giving me feedback in real time?
That is correct. It's been
Very cool.
overused, but we used to call this Iron Man Jarvis for sellers, but we stopped saying it because it seems like everybody's saying the same thing.
Well, when there's a good tagline, everybody wants to grab onto it.
Yeah,
So who are you, what's your ICP on this one?
great question. So we typically work with sales organizations with bare minimum of 30 plus, seller headcount, and these are companies mostly located in the U.S. They in terms of like revenue, we don't necessarily cap it, but it's starting at 50 million and up. They typically have functions like sales enablement and RevOps getting involved in these deals, and there are certain use cases that we can help them do things better and faster. Like one be onboarding. So for example, again, if they have new hires, we can fasten up the ramp time while making sure that reps actually build this muscle memory so they can start selling as soon as they go on field.
That's super cool. I think it's one of those, I just know having run sales teams and trained people and reps on cold calls and watching somebody burn through three or 400 leads and they're just like blowing them up. There's just because they haven't, until you've had someone you can communicate back and forth with, that's like throwing the objections and pushing you, and it's really really difficult to get good at the script, get good at the product description and understanding the problems. And so I think it's one of the coolest uses of AI. Um, and man, I wish I'd had it 4 years ago when I was running full sales teams. That would have been super awesome. Cool. I
Me
love it.
too.
Yeah, that's why you built it, isn't it? Um,
Yeah,
cool,
pretty
man.
much.
So tell me what's the biggest challenge you solved in the last 6 months that you want to share with the community?
There are quite a few, being an early stage startup, but I would say distraction for go to market. We experimented so many different channels, especially focusing on top of funnel, and some of them are successful, some of them, not necessarily. But I think the biggest challenge we have was we dragged some of these activities for too long. So instead of like putting a timeline to each activity, for example, if you want to launch, let's say, marketplaces, instead of like having a timeline to see whether this is a right channel for us, we kept it open. So let it be, let it run. We still get clients from it, and that's why I always make joke internally and say, hey, we are chasing 200 rabbits at the same time. We're not going to catch any, and we decided to focus on what actually brings the more meaningful revenue and build a better relationship. And through this exercises, we figured out, okay, the best way we can actually pull this off for our current ICP is to tap into our network and also build a channel program, which is actually growing right now, and this is our core focus. And we completely stopped like going after handshakes or going to tons of physical events or joining different communities. These are all great channels and it might actually work for certain companies, but for us we found more success actually working with our own existing network and building a channel partnership program.
Cool. So how did you build, like, walk me through building that channel partnership, like the steps. I've never, like, imagine I haven't done it. Teach me how to do it.
Sure. So for us it started actually very accidentally. So some of my contacts tried the platform, they liked the idea, the problem we were solving was interesting enough for them, and they wanted to get involved. So we just say, hey, if you know someone, just maybe you can refer it to us. So first, it was not even a program. And when I say channel partnership, like sometimes channel is, for other people selling it for you. For us, is mostly a referral program where we give a cut on an annual agreement when someone that knows us do an introduction to a potential customer, and we started replicating what actually worked randomly because some of our biggest clients came through referrals. I know this guy, I know this guy, so you guys should chat. And we said, all right, what if we replicate it? We literally sign an agreement with people. You do an introduction, you get 25% on an annual agreement. So
Very cool. So how do you manage, like, are you using software to manage those partnerships? What did that look like to set up?
for now, it's absolutely manual. So we don't necessarily have like hundreds of partners. We try to stay close to our network because there is a trust already built after many years of working with each other. So this way we have an easier path for all these like conversations and transactions. So we still manual. We don't have necessarily a platform to use. We have affiliation programs that people can share a link or two, but this is a completely different approach to what we do in terms of partnership.
So for your partners, do you provide them with sales material, stuff like that, or is it not even that deep? It's just like direct
Not even
connection.
that, they were still very scrappy. And what we do is, of course, we educate them on use cases, or we share some of the feedback we receive from the clients, and they all have access to the platform so they can play around with it. If they want to do a demo when we are not in the room, they have this ability. But we try to keep things very simple because at this point there is no necessity to build, let's say, an automated process for the number of partners we have. But again, eventually, even if again this channel really grow to a certain point, then we need to look at some automation tools to help us with this.
So is your plan, is that one of your big pushes this year, is to grow this channel partnership?
Yes.
What's the goal?
I'm not going to share numbers with you, but
Give us the dirt. Come on. Not
look.
revenue wise, but how many
Yeah.
times how many times are you going to double your revenue with this partnership?
So look, the way I look at it is how many leads I'm getting on top of a funnel, and are they
Hmm.
really relevant? And so far, with a partner number of 10 partners, the amount of qualified leads that are relevant to our ICP that we are receiving is not comparable even to what we did before in terms of like content or outbound. So far so good, but we'll see how it rolls out in the next couple of months.
Very cool. Um, I just think it's interesting because the more founders that I talk to, um, the more you realize that there's this starting motion for each company, and it's so different, um, and so unique, and there's this process of trial and error to figure out what you should be doing, right? Like, what is your company's channel in the beginning? And I think it's really neat to hear you how you guys found that. So for you, what's the one thing that you would pass on to other founders, other SaaS founders from your journey so far that you think would really help them as they kick off their companies and grow them?
First and foremost, trust your guts. As crazy as it sounds, everybody talks about data, best practices, follow the gurus on LinkedIn. These are all great, as you grow, you try different things, you learn different things, but I would say you really need to find out what works best for your company, for the type of solution you're selling, for your ICP, with the team you have, because sometimes you might not have certain skill sets or capabilities, and you might go super crazy. Look, I want to be great at building a massive following on LinkedIn, and let's just learn that. Your job as an early stage founder is to get to product market fit as fast as possible, and by bringing revenue you can sustain your team and you can validate your idea. So just see what works best for you and put some timeline into your experimentations. So one of the things that I didn't do well, but I kept everything super open. Let's be part of this community and be active forever and see what comes out of it. Have a goal, like for example, if your goal is to build a top of a funnel, let's say, um, channel, just really like look at how many leads are you getting. Simple as that. It's just the math. Don't use your imagination too much. You're good at something. That's why you started this company. Find that and double down on it. You don't need to get distracted with so many other options out there.
I think that's like super wise because the one thing I think every founder and founding team, like that core group of people, is unique and they have that thing that they do really well. And I think you nailed it. Like for you guys, it's your network and that those people just like lift you. And other people, it's they've got a social network or
Yeah,
whatever it is. And I think understanding your uniqueness allows you to unlock what you can do really well now to move the needle. So
that
that's
is
super
absolutely correct.
cool, man. I love that. That's really wise words. Okay, man. So what if you had one thing you could ask the network, what can we help you get?
Well, if you know companies that might be a fit, I guess like as an early stage startup, everybody's asking for the same thing. Give me leads. But on a serious note, again, if you want to test out the platform, because we have a lot of founders actually using the product, it's not necessarily our target focus. But if you guys need to upskill yourself and learn how to sell, and we have a lot of technical founders leveraging the platform, this is something I want to do for you guys. Just give it a shot. You can get a trial, use it. It will help you sell better, and hopefully, again, you can build a new skill set that you need. This one, you need it. You need to be able to sell your product and services. So, go check out the platform. That's the biggest help, I guess.
Well, I would back that up 100%, man, because I think the biggest challenge, if you watch founders trying to do founder-led sales, it's understanding sales process is great. We can all write out the process, but having that conversation where you're like chatting back and forth and you're able to like be in that moment and not go on some, as I used to say to the team, I would run down, I would run them down so far in a demo that they would give up and buy. And that was my sales tactics. And I really wish I was way better at that. So I love your product and I love what you guys are doing. And thank you very much for coming on the show, man.
Of
Have a
course,
wonderful
man. It
day.
was great chatting with you. You as well. Cheers.